Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
Episode 129 of the Wilderness Podcast is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Support the show at patreon.com/the Wilderness Podcast. Our supporter of the week is Yasiin Clemens. We're also brought to you by Audible. Get a free month and a free audiobook at audibletrial.com/wild. Welcome to episode 128 of the Wilderness Podcast. I'm your host, Dills, and with me, as always, is Deegan.
Hey, how's it going?
Surprise, surprise, a little bit more to talk about this week. And one is a big thing the community has been pushing for, and it has to do with the polls. So Jagex came out with a dev blog talking about that. There's also polls coming out that has to do with a lot of older content and making some changes to make it more relevant or quality of life. You'll see. We'll talk about that when we get there. And finally, the Treasure Trails and Easter event got dropped on us. And for the most part, that's pretty much it. So, Deegan, what did you do this week?
Did some raids.
Any big loots?
Yeah, got a couple drops, like Arcane.
So it's what, like 8 mil?
4 mil.
Oh, ouch.
3-way. 4 or 5 man.
4 mil each?
No.
Oh, okay, true.
No, 4 mil split. I got like Ancestral Bottoms, I think.
Okay, so
4 or 5 man and something else. But I went and sold off like a chunk of my stuff, like my declaws and random items, and I bought my Hunter Lance finally.
That's not bad. So you testing out that Dragon Hunter Lance?
Yeah, it's nice. Well, I had one before, but then I sold it to Tebow. So now I got it again, finally. I probably should have got it earlier, but whatever. And then I'm at 499 kill count at Jagex.
Okay,
on Ulm.
Damn.
And I'm going to hold off on 500 for a while, because I just have like a fun little idea I'm going to do.
Is this stream related?
I don't think so, no. I'm going to like record it and make a silly video for my buddies and stuff, but I'm going to hold off on, like, I'm done with Ulm for a little bit. And I'm going to just focus on skilling and doing some of my other skills and theater, blood, and real life stuff a little bit.
Fun.
Yeah. Because I've been putting in like some decent hours some nights into it. And yeah, I should take a little break from Ulm. And so now my current goals are 92 mining, so I unlock Amethyst.
Damn.
Which is like AFK.
Okay, so that's the only reason you're going for that is for the AFK factor.
Yeah, because I could AFK Redwoods, but I will get 99 woodcutting as of right now through Wintertodd.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a waste. And I can AFK Anglers, but I prefer to get 99 fishing through Barbarian fly fishing.
Right, agility?
Yeah, so I get the agility experience.
I should do that, but I think I'm going to be going the monk fish route.
It's whatever. To each his own, I guess. So once I hit, like right now, when I'm actively playing, it's kind of funny. If I'm actively playing, I'm power mining, and if I'm AFKing, I'm doing barbarian fishing.
Okay.
So I'm doing iron ores right now. Just power mining the guild.
God, that's rough.
I don't mind it. It's pretty chill. And then once I hit 92. My passive skilling is going to be Amethyst, and then my active will be 3-tick Barbarian fishing until I get that to 99. If I burn out, then I can swap to Wintertodd. But I want to get those kind of out of the way. I want to get like the more like active and I don't know what to call them, but like gatekeeping goals, like goals that like kind of prevent me from doing other things that I have planned in the game. Does that make sense?
What do you mean? Like, how is fishing preventing you from something? Or mining?
Right now, mining's not doing it. Well, kind of. So if I'm AFKing like a skill, I want to be able to AFK it for like up to 3 minutes at a time. While I'm playing games like Rainbow Six Siege, or if I'm playing Slapshot, or another game that's coming out soon this week that I got my eye on.
Which one's that?
It's called I believe it's called Embark. Someone in the CC, one of our Patreon subs actually recommended it to me. It's like
nice. Got to make some of that commission.
Yeah, it's like a sim, like a RimWorld-esque, like sim.
RimWorld, eh?
Yeah, village sim type game.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I've been looking into it. It looks really good, and I think it's actually coming out in like 2 days from now or 3 days, and it's going to be early access, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Every game, that's what they do now.
Yeah. So that'd be pretty fun. And then, yeah, so I could like AFK fish anglers, but I want to AFK like mining or something. And then because I'm losing out on agility experience, that whole thing. And then with the whole gatekeeping thing, it's kind of like, if I want to keep skilling something, if I want to keep making gains, I want to do it in like, not like efficient, but like just something that's like efficient for what I guess I would deem
it's
efficient.
Your own version of efficiency.
Yeah, like I want to get the herbivore pet or 99 hunter, but I want to get 99 agility before that, and I want to get 98 herblore before that.
Jeez.
But before I get 99 agility, I want to get 99 fishing so I can minimize that.
Right, yeah.
And then I also want to get 91 rune crafting so I can get the double tickets and get my graceful color faster.
Oh, agility, you mean? He's in rune crafting.
Yeah, 91 rune crafting. So I can get double tickets through Karamja Elites.
That's right.
That's the only thing stopping me at that point. So pretty much power minded 92, 99 fishing, and then
what's your mining at now?
84. Ugh. I'll hit 85 tonight.
Ugh.
And then I think I'm gonna do steam runes to 91 rune crafting. I might do some bloods, but I think steam, like, they're not as fast as lavas, but you make money at the same time.
Yeah, the money making is a big factor.
Because, yeah, I also, need 98 herblore.
Yeah.
So I gotta, like, somehow make money. And, yeah, so I'm kind of just, like, working through those. I got, pretty much that I'm chipping away at. I have some, like, did some weird little merches. I should have wrote it down, how much I made.
Is it big money or is it like
couple mil?
Because it depends what it is. That could be big money, depending on the actual method of merchanting.
Yeah. With this last update though, yeah, I tested out like some merches that like I typically tend to do around updates like this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess we'll talk about that when time comes. So
what does that mean? Future episode?
Well, like, I don't want to like just start talking about the updates and why I did my merch. I could if you want me to.
Yeah, we'll save it when we get there.
All right. What about you? What'd you do this week?
Just rune crafting as usual. I'm still not 90. I'm way behind in my my schedule. I will be 90 this week. I'm like 150K from it, which is like 10 hours, 12 hours.
You're kidding, right?
Something like that.
Or
no
2 hours of lava runes.
No, not doing that. But I'm also getting mining experience. So when I get to 91, I should have 85 mining, which is all I need for whatever diary that's required. But if you're getting like
12K rune crafting, you're probably getting like 1,000 mining per hour.
Let me pull it up the charts here because I did a little bit of rune crafting today while I was doing some schoolwork. I made 17K rune crafting, which gave me 2K mining. Not bad.
Yeah.
It's something, but I've gotten almost, okay, it might not be 85 mining, but I will be 84 mining because I'm 70% away from that. And I was like level 82 mining, like halfway through it when I first started this rune crafting grind. Okay, it's not a lot of experience in the grand scheme of things, but it's free.
Yeah, I mean, it adds up over time.
Yeah, plus the money. That's why I like blood runes, because I'll walk away with like 7 mil at the end of a week, which is like not much for how much time I'm putting into it, but it's something.
Yeah.
It's similar to the mining experience where it's just like, it's a lot, but it's not because of how much time I put into it. But at the same time, it's better than doing lavas for me at least, and then being in the negatives. Plus I'm like watching other things and playing other things.
2 hours of dedication and discipline over 12 hours of like Netflix.
Yeah, it's a huge difference in time, but still, I like the Blood Runes is the way to go.
Yeah.
Plus, I find it more fun. It's just fun to watch the big 2K experience drops.
Yeah,
it's massive. That's about it. I think I'll bounce around between Blast Furnace, trying to get to 88 smithing. I'll do a bit of thieving and some prayer. Like I'm kind of juggling the three
Why
of
don't
them.
you get 89 smithing?
What's that 89?
Well, you can beer boost to 91.
Actually, I do think it's 90 I need for... it's 91 smithing. Word.
Yeah, so you could just get 89 smithing. That's what I did. And then you use, was it a Sagrian Ale or what? I don't know. Some sort of the beer boost. And then you just smith, what is it, Rune Scimitar or something? I don't remember what it is.
I might do that, but at the same time, like I said, ideally, I would like to go for max one day. Hard to say if I will, because some of the grinds are just rough.
Yeah, but you're kind of making it worse for yourself.
So that's the way I do things. But, so I tell myself I want to get 91 smithing at the end of it. I don't want to boost for any of these. But as we get closer, I could see myself, tapping out. Almost, like, it must be like a month that I've been on this grind, but at the same time, it's like the end of the year for school, so now you're getting a lot of work dropped on you, and this is my last week, so it should open up more time. But we'll have to see. I did some more questing. I don't know if I was talking about my questing grinds last week, but I got just 2 more quests to do, which is the troll quests, my big arms and making friends with my arm or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta go do those 2. The Rag and Bone Man quest is rough. The second part,
yeah,
fucking sucks.
Yeah,
I must have spent like 3 hours doing that.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was 3 hours, but it felt that way.
Yeah, it's not too fun, but
it wasn't terrible. But
only got to do it once, right?
Yeah, but yeah, that's basically it. I've been kind of obsessing over VR I would say this like whole month. I've been like looking into it a bit more, and that's the thing. I'm on a time crunch because at the end of the month, a new Oculus is dropping the new Oculus Rift S, and Valve is also dropping their the Index, which is their VR system they're coming out with. So the Oculus Rift S is supposed to be cheaper than when the Rift was first released.
Not quite $1,000.
Yeah, it's like $400, which is still a lot of money. But it's at a point where I'm like, I could justify myself dropping the $400 to pick one up.
See, I can't even justify buying a $400 like chair or something.
Because the chair is hard, because you're like, I could just spend $80 and get one that kind of does the same thing.
Okay, well, like, how about like $400 on like a desk and a bookshelf? I can't even justify that. Maybe I'm just really cheap.
It's hard because I do the same thing where there's some things that I like can't justify myself spending the money on because I'm in school. I'm working a very minimal job. So something like, like a bookcase, I could be like, well, I could definitely get a cheaper bookcase or something else that would do the trick. Whereas VR, it's like, if you could get one that's like $100, but then you're just getting the Gear VR, the thing for your cell phone. Like you miss out on a lot of the cool experiences.
Yeah.
But I think the big problem is like we had a roommate living with us who had the Oculus, and we were playing like Beat Saber and some other games with it. And I got hooked on Beat Saber. And yeah, I've just been kind of craving it hard because he's moved out since.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was just like looking at the VR systems, being like, oh, maybe I'll get one if they go on sale or something. And then as the weeks go on, I keep looking more and more into it. And I'm just like, shit, I really, really want one. So we'll have to see how that goes. Yeah, no, that's my week right there. Because of the new update that came out, I was doing a bit of Lava Dragons. Not really too many PKers. I was there quite a bit. I think I died twice, but I was AFKing hard, which you really don't want to do.
Yeah, I was actually I was testing out some AFK air quotes money making stuff.
Yeah,
I was doing Rune Dragons and Brutal Black Dragons and whatnot.
Rune Dragons AFK?
Not really.
Yeah,
maybe
so.
maybe if you Full Justice are. So what I found is everyone was like, not everyone, people I talked to was like, man, Rune Dragons is like perfect for Netflix. You make $1 million an hour. It's nice and AFK. Here's the setup. And then I'm like, okay. And then I found it really wasn't AFK, and I was making like $2 million an hour.
Okay, it's a weird trade-off.
But it's like, it was weird because, like, I don't know. It's easy way to make money. Like, it's not like hard. You just have to eat a lot. Yeah, it's not AFK at all. But I
wouldn't think so.
It's definitely like a new method of making money if I'm like in that weird lull of like not sure what I want to do, where I want to like do something, but don't feel like doing Zulrah, don't want to do Vorkath. I'm not raiding Xerix anymore. I'm going to try my best to get into Tob, but you're committing like 45 to an hour of focus.
Yeah.
And then finding people for Tob is kind of a pain. But
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a neat alternative to be like, if I'm bored of like fishing or something or rune crafting, I can just kind of like hop over and do that and like make some money, because I really need to start focusing on making more money.
Same.
And because my bank, I do these weird things where like I'll be really good. Like I've been doing my Zaf staffs and stuff like consistently for like a while now. But like I'll go through these phases where I do like all the like herb boxes. I'll do all my farming like herb runs multiple times a day. I don't do birdhouses because fuck that. But I do like all like the things you should do to passively make money. And then I hit like a certain like cash stack and I just stop doing it all. And then it slowly dwindles as I'm just kind of like playing, and I'm not getting like crazy money from anything. I'm buying this piece and that piece, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My money will slowly dwindle down to like a couple mil, and then I have to like do it all over again and start grinding out money hard. But Rune Dragons gives me an excuse not to do that.
Yeah.
I can just sit down for like an hour or so and just like make a couple mil.
It's good to have a few things on the go that you can kind of take a break from these grinds with, because that's what I was doing Lava Dragons. I was like, I need to take a break from skilling, because it's not bad to do because I'm able to like watch Netflix, or maybe I can work on some assignments, but it's more fun killing shit and getting the RNG factor of what's going to drop.
Yeah.
It's much more enjoyable than just like, all right, I will get 100 blood runes from this run. Anyways, shall we jump into what's going on with the news?
Yeah. All right, so starting off with a major change to the game. Probably one of the biggest changes is hiding poll results.
Yeah, so it's not like an actual change to the game, but it's changing what's coming into the game, I guess.
Yeah.
We're going to get more honest poll results.
Well, now we can just say that Jagex is fudging the numbers.
This is true. This is true.
That's actually why they showed the results in the beginning, to kind of be like, we're not fudging the numbers. This is what, But
wait, did they actually say that?
Pretty sure that was the reasoning before. Huh. And why when there was an initial vote to hide it, people voted no because they were worried that Jagex was going to just
fuck things up.
Yeah. But I mean, Revenants got put in the game, so it's fair to say that if any bad updates go through, it's because the community is...
It's on us now. We don't have to worry of them being like, do you guys want a new boss? And you're like, hell yeah. Okay, so you vote yes to the poll, but then you're like, then they come out and say, well, we forgot to say that if we do add this boss, we need to change the whole combat system. So here you go. Now you have EOC. Like those fucking bastards.
Well, last man standing. How health is like the health bar issue.
No, what happened again?
Last man standing changed how the health bars would be displayed.
But it's fixed now, right?
Well, it's not what it used to. You used to be able to see the exact number of things. Maybe like RuneLight might have like a new system, but I remember when OS Buddy was king, it would show you whatever you're attacking, what its HP was, and it was very accurate in how much health was left. And then due to how they had to change how health bars like progress through damage, where like sometimes you would just take like 1 damage and then you would lose like a fifth of your health bar, or you would like take a bunch of damage and your health bar wouldn't move. And it was just due to last man standing. But that kind of actually happened before, funny enough. But this is the proposal for hiding poll results. So they've been hesitant for doing this for a while, but mainly because
they've tried polling it and it failed.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem like it's critical to like, they don't believe it's critical in how updates are being passed. But, you know, they're going to kind of test and see like if there's a difference in how the community, like how much like voting we do.
Yeah, it makes sense because
it's kind of like for research purposes, they might go back on it. Keep in mind, if not enough people are voting, or if like, I think that's pretty much it. If not enough people are voting, then they might just go back because I don't know exactly.
It's hard
why.
to say, but maybe, they got to figure out like, okay, not as many people are voting now, but maybe before when we were showing the polls, a lot of people were voting just whatever the majority was voting. They didn't really care.
Yep. Yeah.
So now I guess they're going to see.
Yep. So this next poll that we're going to be talking about will have the hidden polling implemented.
Nice.
To segue that into the poll blog, revisiting older content. So they do want to put some more like love into like older content, and they've done things like rebalancing parts of Jagex and all that stuff. And they've commonly relied on channels like Reddit, Twitter, social media channels.
Yeah.
They will continue that, I guess. Evidently. With the PvP scene, in regards to that, there are many changes that have been suggested, and they're going. I think we talked about this last episode
with the dead man mode, right?
Yeah, they're going to like. They're at least they're discussing on how they can kind of fix or improve PvP as a whole, and they're going to be creating a new overall approach and process for discussing PvP with players, and especially people who are like dedicated to PvP in all aspects, whether it's PvP world, wilderness, clanning, rev caves. But yeah. Anyways, so some smaller changes to old content. The first question is, the first topic, I guess, is minigames. And should Barbarian Assault be updated to allow players to wear capes inside the minigame?
Yeah. I mean, the only reason you can't right now is, because how the engine is, you equipped an item that gives you that circle around you.
Yeah. Funny enough, I don't really think they should.
Why?
Well, capes give stats and all that, but the thing is that they should just let you throw chinchompas in Barbarian Assault. I still to this day don't know why they took out chin throwing, because it was like for people that really enjoyed Barbarian Assault and that would do it, well, 1, to make money, 2, for fun, 3, if you want to power through your diaries or something, or through an item, you would, and you're super tryhard. There was a method of when you're on attack, the meta is you have like you do void range with the MSBI now, but unless that's changed, but at least last time when I was like pretty into it, but you would use chinchompas and you could gather up stacks and just chin them down, and it made attack roll very quick, and it allowed the teams to be way more flexible, especially if you're doing boosts or like doing paid services, which I don't really think should be bad. Like, I don't think like that stuff should be hindered.
No.
But I do find it weird that like, why do we need capes? It's like everyone's going to bring a fire cape or Avas or something, right?
But I think this way, it's more like the reason we had to do this was because our engine, is the best way to code it. Whereas now it's like, well, it's kind of redundant. We could easily just give you that aura without having to equip a cape on. And now you can bring your own cape. Like, I feel like the state that RuneScape's in doesn't require you to have it the way it is.
But are there people that don't do Barbarian Assault because they can't wear their cape?
No, but are there people who are failing at Barbarian Assault because they don't have the stats from a cape? You know what I mean?
Well, like,
I think it just comes down to like,
I don't think the cape makes a difference.
It doesn't.
It's
that's
a lot of extra effort for nothing.
No, but that's I think it makes it more streamlined with other content. Like, you go to there and you're like, shit, I don't use a cape here. Why? Oh, it's because your cape is a circle on the floor.
Yeah. Depending, like, I don't know if it's a lot of effort. If it's like they hit 3 buttons and it's implemented, fine.
No, that's what I would think. It's an easy change.
But like, I would like, it doesn't improve Barbarian Assault.
No, but I think it's just like a quality of life thing. It makes so that if you do walk in with a cape, you don't got to turn around and go bank it. I don't know. It's very minor.
I don't know. It doesn't really do anything. So I kind of think it's a waste, but whatever. Poll question 2, should barricades in Castle Wars have a visual indication of which team placed them? This would make communication within teams easier by distinguishing who has placed a barricade. Again, this does nothing.
I was going to say, yeah, what's the point? But then at the same time, maybe someone is just being irresponsible with barricades and they're just throwing them at the worst spots. At least now you can be like, yo, this is our team. One of our teammates is doing this.
Well, barricade griefing is like a real thing, but if you're barricade griefing, you're going into like the middle of nowhere off to the corners and you're just dropping a bunch of barricades.
Yeah.
So I think putting a color like red or blue isn't going to fix that.
Well, it might make it so that if you do bump into 4 barricades in the corner of Castle Wars, at least you'll be like, oh shit, these are my team's barricades. Let me blow these up while I'm here. Whereas if they're the enemies, you're gonna be like, I'll just leave them. Like, right now, you kind of have to guess.
The only thing is, like, it doesn't. I don't know. I don't really think it matters. The people that like care about Castle Wars, I don't know.
That's the thing. Most people don't care, so this isn't going to change much. But there is a bit of a hardcore scene for Castle Wars. I could see them wanting this. I could see this being a thing that like helps with team coordinating, like within a game.
I think it makes it easier, but unnecessary
for us. But I think for them, they might actually want it.
Well, if you're like if you're doing like Castle Wars, you're in that like Discord and you're doing like 6v6 with bands and everything.
Yeah.
If you're like really within that community, you're going to know who's barricading what, because you don't just barricade for no reason. You're barricading like, it's like from my understanding of Castle Wars is that if you're dropping barricades, it's like an active response to something. So you're being chased or you're trying to stop someone or slow them down, and you're dropping them in patterns while lighting them with tinderboxes, and you're like blocking them like right then and there. Like you're doing like certain patterns and placement styles like right then and there, and you're going to be lighting them on fire. But like, I don't know. I just think these like aren't, this isn't going to like help.
Well, it says here, these are small content changes, small old content changes. Sorry. So I think a lot of these are going to be very like minor changes that we're going to be like, I don't care. But this might be someone who's like, hey, this is a small quality of life that I could actually benefit from. We're like, yeah, I don't give a shit really if they change the colors because I don't play Castle Wars that much. Whereas someone who plays it a lot might be like, finally, I'm getting some quality of life for this content that I love, but no one else cares about it, so we never see this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's maybe where the disconnect is, because I think like if you're making small changes, you're going to be wanting to bring people into the mini games, right?
Well,
it's like, because if you're still doing Castle Wars, or if you're into boosting like Barbarian Assault, or you're just enjoy it and you're just involved in the community, like these changes aren't going to be like, yeah, I'm definitely going to keep doing this for a week. They're kind of just like,
no, but it's
no one really cares, and
these are just going to be like small tweaks, and the people who do them a lot will probably appreciate them, right? Just like there's like these small updates that we can be like, oh, I appreciate this small quality of life thing, whereas other people are like, I'm never even going to touch. That does nothing for me.
Yeah.
Don't ask for an example because I can't get one.
All right. So for poll question 3, should pest control be adjusted to let smaller games launch more often? This won't affect the maximum number of games per hour due to the timers for portal shields. So this I like. You can sit down and rip some with your friends if you want, or like community events.
Yeah.
We could have like a Wild Boys thing where we just jump into our own world and just do it. Or like this is the stuff that I kind of see as more appealing, where it's not like go into this one world and hit priority 3 and then now you're in. It's like there might be some cool methods you could find out through this. You can just mess around if you want. I know like it might be better for like certain accounts to run with a certain size group now because they're able to get points while being like efficient in terms of like.
And it's also for like on the pest control world itself. If there's a weird number of people doing it where like, you know, let's say there's 3 full boats can go, then you're sitting there at like 70% capacity waiting for that other thing to finish.
Yep. So poll question 4, should Aloof Gian Jr.?
Sure.
I have no idea who that. Oh, should they have a right-click option, get job, to start the Gnome Restaurant minigame? This would bypass lengthy dialogue, triggered by the left-click option, which I think they should do. Be nice to kind of quickly go in, do the restaurant minigame, because you deliver foods, and I think it's where you get the gnome scar from.
Yeah.
So I like that. And see, that like it makes it easier, makes it more enticing.
Sure.
You know, should games of Last Man Standing be able to start with a minimum of 4 players rather than 24?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, like see, that's a minor change that actually changes the functionality. Like in a positive, like you can having to wait for 24 people is ridiculous. So what if you get 6 or 7? Or
well, the reason this is a bigger change, like that'll actually affect Last Man Standing, is because you're not playing. Nobody's playing Last Man Standing right now because you need to get 24 people. Therefore, if you go to the Last Man Standing world and just wait there, like if you get 10 people, which is a lot, seeing how nobody does it, you're still not even halfway there.
Yep.
So you need to ask people. And I was a huge fan of Last Man Standing. I don't think this is enough to make it a popular minigame, but it's on the right track. I hope they keep revisiting it because I did enjoy it, and it sucks that you can't play it no more.
So currently, if you log out while you're training in the Mage Training Arena with depositing your coins, this is like specific. They word this horribly, but that's the alching aspect.
Yep.
When you're in your alchemy points, the coins you earn there are removed from your inventory. If they want to change this, if you log out, they get automatically deposited.
Sure.
Yep. So for farming tools, for the farming and tool leprechaun, we'd like to offer the following improvements. So the first one is, should the right click or long press on mobile inspect option on a farming patch notify players of the growth state? So it could say like, oh, it's 2 out of 5 or something, right?
Yeah.
And then the second one is, should the tool leprechaun be able to hold 100 of each tool?
Yeah, for the tool thing. Number 7, though, like the being able to inspect it, you have magic spells for that. So I don't.
Yeah,
I feel like no, only because
it. Why do we have that spell?
May as well get rid of it then. I mean, the spell will. It's a lunar spell, and it shows you every patch you have. But I feel like that should be like a perk you get for unlocking lunars. You shouldn't,
Yeah, you shouldn't just get it for the sake of getting it. I agree. And then the number, like I guess they just chose 100 for whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Because right now you can do 1.
Yep.
And the amount of times I take out a rake and forget to put it back.
Yep.
So if I had 100, I don't know. I'm going to buy 100 brakes, throw them in there, never have to. There, I free up some freaking bank space.
Yeah, easy. And then, yeah. So for the next one, interface improvements. Ooh. So for the poll question 9, should the combat tab show which category your weapon belongs to? So if it's a bow, it'll say bow. If it's a scimitar, it'll say one-handed sword or some shit. I don't know.
Let's use the examples given. They have an ancient staff, which gives it the staff category. Armadillo God sword is in the 2-hand sword category. And then, magic short bows in the bow category. I like that. It's a good idea.
I don't.
Why?
It's one, it doesn't look good. Two, why do you need to like? Oh, my bow is a bow. My staff's a staff. My god sword's a two-handed sword. Like, why do we need to know the weapon category?
There's weird ones like bladed staffs.
So
I would assume that would just be in the staff section.
There's like 3 of them in the game, though.
But there's probably a bunch of other items like that are like in their own category that you just wouldn't expect. So it does look kind of weird and I guess crowded having it in the interface itself. But I do think there should be a way so you can check what category it's in. Like they have the categories
in the
now.
Equipments tab, have an info. Like it's a wet. Like I don't think it should be here. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't look good. Like if you don't know that your like leaf bladed battle axe is like a leaf bladed weapon or an axe, like
that it's a good question
or a one-hander.
Though, because like is there even a leaf bladed category, or maybe it's in the axe category? Is a scimitar a one-handed sword, or is it in a scimitar category? You know, is a Brian Saber a scimitar, or is that a one-handed sword?
Scimitar.
But like, what category does it fall in? Let's check.
Well, like a lot of the things it's pretty intuitive. Like I don't know, what are you trying to look for?
Okay. So I just looked up some of the categories now. So there are some confusing ones, like slashing swords, which is for the most part it's long swords and scimitars.
Well, like, it's not going to say slashing swords, though.
But then we also have,
like,
stabbing swords. So, like, daggers and short swords are in a different short swords is in a different category than long swords. You know? So that's weird.
They're not going to be categorized as that, though. You know what I mean?
Well, it's
how the wiki has it, but they also have, like, daggers and short swords, right?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't equip the dagger and it'd say stabbing sword. It would say dagger.
But the dagger and the short swords are in its same category. So I'm sure they'd find some sort of term to categorize both those daggers and short swords.
But like,
so I think the whole purpose of having what category your thing is in, so that you can know, like, okay, my dagger and my short sword will be on the same attack style.
But then why isn't the AGS categorized as a slashing sword?
Because it's in a two-handed sword.
But it slashes. It's a slash-based weapon.
But it also has a crush.
Do you see how like this makes it way more confusing than it needs to?
But I think it makes it less confusing, because you might think like, yeah, my two-handed sword is going to be in the same one as the other swords. But in reality, it won't be, because your two-handed swords have a crush, where your slashing swords don't have a crush. So I think that's what makes it different.
But they also have a stab.
Yeah, they have a stab in it. Yeah.
So like, why would you not just have daggers, scimitars, long swords, short swords, two-handed swords? Like, I think because like that implies that like if you have, because the way they have it set up right now is that you have to set like they want to have it set so the category of weapon that you choose your style to saves.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like if I grab a scimitar and I want to train defense and I pick up a longsword, it's going to be on defense. It'll be on whatever my longsword was, which it could be attack by default.
Are we sure about that? Because I thought that I'm pretty sure it works that they're both the same. So whatever you set your longsword to will set your scimitar to.
It shouldn't be like that if that's the case, though. Because like scimitars and longswords have different like inherent bonuses to like stab. Like a longsword's probably gonna have better stab or certain inherent stats. Like a longsword's probably gonna have better stab bonuses than a scimitar, and a scimitar's gonna be better on slash. So what if you like for some reason need to stab something and you just like pull out a longsword now it's on, you know what I mean? Then like it just makes it way more like.
So I think, yeah, when you're talking about like scimitars versus longswords, that's
why they can't do that though. And the same thing would
But it's also because we have like different weapons. Like we have cutlasses and sabers. Like what would that fall into? A cutlass. It's
scimitar.
A scimitar. Okay, you would say it's a scimitar. Whereas
like a scimitar is like a curved weapon. It's a saber. Like
yeah, the category, you got like a machete.
The category like shouldn't even be scimitar, it should be saber. If you want to get technical with it.
Yeah, and then but then you have like
a saber's a curved weapon.
Fun weapons like skewers. So what, you put them in the longsword category, and then you got the obby dagger.
Yeah.
Which then you might be like, well, that should be with the other daggers. It's confusing to even talk about.
It's inconsistent, which is why I don't really think they need to show any of this.
But that's why I think they should, though, because if you knew that the scimitar is in the slashing sword category, then it just makes it a lot easier because people are going to think like, no, maybe scimitars are in their own category.
They should be, though. I
don't think they will be. I think that's just a redundant thing.
Well, like, so the point I'm trying to make is that, like, because the reason why they have categories and the reason why they're talking about it is because, you know, your attack styles are now remembered. So if all your weapons are under slash, like that, how annoying would it be that like you're stabbing with your scimitar all of a sudden? You're like, what? I don't know. Why am I stabbing my scimitar? Or like, you know, slashing with your longsword when you want to stab with it or something, right?
Yeah.
It makes it really weird. And then what happens is that people complain because like, oh, why is this like this? And the Jagex have to go and fix it and have to go change things and recategorize some weapons like the obby dagger, which is kind of weird. It's under sword. Is it under longsword?
Yeah. Well, another example would be like blunt weapons, because you have warhammers, you have mauls, you have a bunch of weird items like like blackjack weapons and a lot of the fun toys, the fun weapons.
Well, yeah, if weapons like crush base will be blunt.
Yeah, but you put that, I think that's why it's just whatever. If they have the same attack styles, they'll just be added to the same category, which just makes it easier, right? Because then there might be like problems with like, well, so now we have this new sword coming to the game. Should we add it to the short sword category, the dagger category, the scimitar category, the long sword category? Whereas like those 4 categories there, and 2 of them are basically the same.
So like the main thing is, why do they need to do like, there's just so many problems coming up right now that we're talking about because they're like, we want to show you guys what weapon. And we're like, all right, well, let's actually look at the weapons. And you're like, this is really inconsistent. And they're not even categorizing which weapons are what. And then you find out like they're classifying like scimitar shouldn't be like a category. Like a saber shouldn't be, a cutlass shouldn't be called a scimitar. Unless like I'm completely wrong. And please someone call me out. But I'm pretty sure they should be considered sabers. So it's like, then people will be like, well, we should call it like a saber category now. And then it's like, well, that, you know what I mean? It just like, it causes like, it's like a snowball of just like really weird, like things that Jagex will have to change and fix and then redo if they show any of this. And
but that's you assuming that they're going to make even more categories. I don't think they ever will. I think they're going to leave it as it is.
They have to fix it. They'd have to fix it and they'd have to like,
I think this is where we're disagreeing, where I think like if they add the categories in, that'll be clear enough. Whereas you think it'll confuse people even more. Because right now, no one knows what that scimitars and slashings and like longswords are in the same category. They might think they're in separate categories as it is.
But like they shouldn't be in the same category.
Yeah, but maybe not, but they are. You know what I mean? And we don't know if they'll ever change that because that is like could be deemed as like a waste of time.
They're just very different.
Yeah, but like
sure you can use them to cut webs, but can't you use like an abyssal dagger to cut webs or like a dragon dagger?
Yeah, you can use.
But that's a stab weapon.
Well, they're primarily stab weapons. Their primary attack style is stab, and these ones like primary slash.
Do you see how like weird it, like just
when we're talking about like a rune short sword versus a rune scimitar, it's simple. But I think the problem is when you start adding in a new weapon. Like,
okay, well, if we just keep it like the rune category, it's like, why can I cut a web with a dagger? It's a like a rune dagger. Oh, because it can slash, but then it's like, why is it called a stabbing weapon? Isn't that misleading? It's a slash. Like it makes it way more than it needs to.
Well, yeah, when you're comparing 2 different rune items, but like let's say we're talking about this obby dagger now. All of a sudden, you're gonna like, you know what I mean? Like, are you just gonna create a whole new category now for just this weapon? Because it is a dagger, but the attack styles are slash attack styles.
Well, yeah, like
so you couldn't add, like, if you wanted to create a long sword category and a scimitar category, then where's this dagger gonna sit?
Well, we're calling it like Obby dagger, but really it's called like a toxic, like
yeah.
They could just be like, oh no, it's not actually dagger the whole time. It's been a short sword or something, right? But like they should, if we have to have weapon categories, just keep it like dagger, short sword, scimitar, 2H, crossbow, longbow, short bow. Don't like have these like bolted weapons. You know what I mean? Don't have like, you know, weird like throwing. I could get behind a bit just because, you know, throwing axes, knives, and darts. But even then, it's still like I think it just makes it more consistent if you just show what it is instead of like having these group categories. Because like, I don't know, it's silly. Point being is I don't think it should be in the game. I don't think the category should be super important.
That's the only way it's going to remember your style. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you just remove how it remembers what style.
Well, it remembers it right now. It doesn't have to show us the text above our combat level.
No, but this would clear it up for like you know what I mean?
But
like
it's actually making things way more confusing right now.
I mean, we're having to go into the wiki to see what the categories items are in.
Yeah, and it's
you wouldn't need to if it's in the game,
but it's inconsistent.
I would disagree. I think it's more consistent than breaking them up because then you're gonna have bizarre items in there. I don't know.
All right,
it's a very contested issue. We'd love to hear opinions on it.
Should a toggle be added to the bank interface for hiding the deposit inventory button? This would be found in the settings near the toggle that indicates deposit worn items.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can do that with your worn items right now, which I actually didn't know until earlier this week.
Can we add these options to a deposit box? I don't like having the chance to accidentally deposit my equipped items. I like the only time you ever do that is, I'm going to Intrana. Yeah. Whoops, what am I wearing? And that's it. Like, can I at least have the option to hide that? That's what they should be polling, god damn it. But poll question 11, should 100 traps falling no longer close bank interface automatically? Yeah. It's weird. Poll question 12, should an in-game clock be added? This would be found on the chat channel interface to show game time rather than local time.
Hell yeah, that's a cool. I like that idea.
Yep.
Suddenly I don't have to convert timing, you know? When do you want to go, boss? Let's do it 2 p.m. BST. I have to go on Google now.
Yeah. I mean, how's the time look like? GMT +1s and stuff, and you're like, or like West Coast and stuff, Mountain, you're like, I can kind of, I know where what time they're in relative due to me having to ask them every fucking day.
All I know is Australia, it's like the opposite time of whatever I got.
Yeah. Should players be able to pay for Purdue's services with gold from their bank? Purdue is a guy you get like the untradeable / quest items and stuff from.
Does he also repair your broken items?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah, do that up. Sounds good to me. That's probably the service he's offering then, for fixing your items.
Oh, true, yeah. Poll question 14. Should arrows and runes obtained from Barrow's chest go directly into your ammo or rune slot if they contain the same type of ammo or runes? Currently, they drop on the floor if your inventory is full.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. So, Plank Make is a lunar spell that requires 86 magic to cast. It converts one log to its plank equivalent, and it is very click intensive and annoying. Have you heard the sound effect?
Oh, it's the worst.
It's like, yeah, it's awful.
It's worse than the Armadale spec.
Yeah, believe it or not. They want to automate this, and the automation would be slower. And would you be okay with that? Manually casting would be faster, but they want to add an automation.
Sure.
Easy escape. Let's get it going.
We're already halfway there.
Should Ilfine and Iselwyn, I think that's how you say their names, I don't know, receive right-click options that will allow players to quickly purchase or recharge their crystal equipment? This would bypass lengthy dialogue.
To see Ilfine's right-click option, you must first reach her lowest price. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But at that point, you have been there multiple times anyway, so sure.
Yeah, they want to add an unlimited teleport for the Enchanted Lyre. The fee would be 1,000 raw versions of the following fish: sharks, mantis, sea turtles, and bass. And each level of the Farming Diary completion would reduce this cost by 200 for each fish.
Not bad. Yeah, sure. I don't even use my lyre because it's a pain in the ass to charge.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
We need more teleports. That's what I'm always saying.
Yep. And then Seed Vault stuff. Should they add a search function? Yeah.
Okay.
Should the Seed Vault be able to store saplings? Only fully grown ones, though. No seedlings.
Why?
That'd be OP as hell.
How?
Just due to like what is it, the lunar spell?
Oh, the water humidify?
Yeah. Because I know you can make pretty good money per hour.
And do they take up just one bank spot each? They don't stack, do they?
The saplings?
Yeah, the seedlings. Or do they stack?
I think they stack.
No, if they stack, I don't really see a problem.
I don't know.
But yeah, throw those saplings in there.
Should holders be added to the Seed Vault? Should Seed Vault interface be made taller and resizable? Pretty much. Should they just make the Seed Vault a bank?
Yeah, pretty much.
Of course.
Better question. Give me a little button on the bank tab that lets me open up the Seed Vault. That's probably a little bit OP, but still, like, fuck, I don't know. I don't even use a Seed Vault right now because I don't really need the bank. I do need the bank space, but I don't. I can get rid of other things at the same time. But I know as the game progresses, I'm going to feel forced to use it, and then I'm going to forget. I'm just going to be, I'm going to forget shit in the Seed Vault because I don't think to check it. Like I feel like there should be a button where you can open up the Seed Vault. You can open up like your POH, the costume you put in there, right?
But the issue is game engine stuff.
I mean, I don't know. I guess so, but hell, if RuneScape 3 could pull it off.
EOC? Is this a call to action for EOC? Because RS3 is like a different game engine. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I guess.
And like the reason why we have such a small bank is because we're gonna lag if we get any more. But yeah, that's it for the poll questions.
Cool stuff. A lot of small things there, but hey, they're there.
All right, and now we're off to the Treasure Trails expansion. So it's here. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, cool stuff.
It did drop. Yeah.
Yeah. Beginner clue scrolls came out. They're 1 of 3 steps. Of course, members have destroyed the prices of everything already by completing like 500 on day 1 and stuff. So congrats, guys.
You did it.
Yep.
We did it.
They added some new puzzles. So for easy, they added like 12 new clues. Medium 5, hard 5, elite 5, and master 5, and 1 new slider puzzle.
Cool.
We got some new rewards. So let's talk about those. So for the beginner rewards, we have a jester cape, shoulder parrot.
Oh, that's sick.
Bear slippers.
All right.
Frog slippers.
Sure.
Demon slippers.
Gotta have them.
Mole slippers.
Most importantly.
Slipper slippers. Now we have God ornament kits for the rune scimitar.
Very cool.
Yeah, the rune saber. And Saradomin, Gothix, and Zamarok. Hot stuff. We got, speaking of hot stuff, we do have the Sandwich Lady outfit.
Nice.
Yeah. Monk robes trim top and bottom, and Amulet of Defense trim.
Cool. Good shit.
Yeah, pretty neat. The parrot looks dope as fuck.
Oh, how much is, let me see what that's going for.
I saw day 1 going for like 50, 30 mil, but it's probably like 100K now.
50K?
Yeah.
That's so sad. It's probably one of the cooler looking things. God. Oh, that's not the right price at all. This is my problem. I always do this. Day 1 item, look it up. How is it only 60K? But then you look at the charts and it's skyrocketing up in price.
Yeah.
So there's a different actual value.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
For easy rewards, they added the Cape of Skulls.
Nice. I think it looks badass.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Power Amulet T.
Cool.
A rainbow.
Uh-oh. Is this another Gilbert's Colors? What was it?
Yeah, I have no idea. Gilbert Godfrey.
I don't remember that whole... It was a joke about the gay pride event that happened before. But anyways, the bow looks cool.
Ham joint, which we found out isn't paraphernalia. It's it's meat. You just eat it.
Right.
Piece of ham.
It's like when you go to Disney World and you see those guys walking around with a giant turkey leg.
Yeah.
Man, that blew my mind.
Staff of Bob the cat. Leather body top and legs. I guess leather body and chaps. Gold trimmed.
Right. Not the studded.
Yeah. Black heraldic plate bodies. H1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Cool.
Yeah. Medium rewards. We have the spiked manacles.
Nice.
The wolf mask and cloak.
Sure.
Climbing boots G.
Nice.
And then the heraldic Addy plate bodies. So for hard rewards, we have the dual sai, which are like the Ninja Turtle dagger thingies.
Yeah. Which one had that? Leonardo?
Probably. I don't know. One of them. A thieving bag.
Cool.
Gilded rune defender kit.
Okay.
Obi-Mall ornament kit.
Little red trim. Sure.
Berserker necklace ornament kit.
Cool.
Third age plate skirt.
Oh, true. Yep.
Yeah, the blessed hide shields. And rune heraldic plate bodies. 1 through 5.
Now, going back to the easy clue, I will say the black heraldic plate bodies look pretty cool.
Yep.
They almost has like a gray shade just on the front, which looks a lot cooler than I thought. Way cooler than the stupid bucket helmets.
Yep.
God damn.
So for the elite rewards, we have an adamant and rune dragon mask.
Okay. I thought we already had them, but okay.
Yeah, funny enough, I have an Addy mask in my bank. I thought it was just normal. I probably lost a lot of money not selling that.
I don't know. They look very similar to green and blue dragon masks.
I thought that, I honestly, I did one elite clue scroll and I got an Addy rune or Addy dragon mask and I got the giant boot, which we'll talk about in a second.
Spoilers, but yeah, it's bullshit.
But yeah, we got some ranger tights coming in. Gilded dragon d-hide, top, legs, vambraces, coif, all that stuff. Look pretty slick.
Mm-hmm.
Gilded axe, pickaxe, a gilded spade.
Nice.
Yuri's hat, Fremennik kilt. Big
looks
stuff.
badass, yeah.
They didn't even talk about the giant boot, which is like, it's a boot on your head, but like your head is just a boot. Like it's a full covering. It honestly looks really cool.
Greg.
Yeah. What is it? Is the
I can't remember.
Are you playing your love games with me? Anyway, yeah. So I ended up getting giant boot. I sold it for like, I think it was $2 million.
Did you get screwed?
Yeah.
What do you mean? How much
it was day one. I could have put it up for like 15 mil. Just that's it.
Shit. Yeah, actually, I was reading somebody sold it for 5 mil, and then some dude was buying them and then flipping them for like 30 mil.
Yeah. I mean, last time we had a Clue expansion, there was some hot propaganda being put out where like some dudes like, these nunchucks are really, and then like people were just like straight up lying about how much they're making and doing fake buys and sells in the GE to like make bank and lose hard manipulation. So I'm like, I don't really think any were selling for 30 mil.
True.
But
they might. You never know.
I mean, mine insta sold, so I definitely lost a lot of money. I was just like, whatever. That sucks. Maybe they are going for 30 mil. I don't really care though. I just did it because I was like, fuck it. I was waiting to do some raids. So I was trying to kill time. But yeah. And then for the Master Clue rewards, we have the Tormented Bracelet Ornament Kit.
Oh, nice.
We have Third Age Druidic Staff, top, bottom, legs, and cloak. And all Third Age or gilded items from lower tiers.
Cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Make it so that I'm not like missing out on the Third Age plate body because I'm doing masters and not herds.
Yeah. So the big daddy is the Mimic boss. So you actually have to go to Watson and
enable it. And
you have to like go to the chest to fight it.
Oh, you do have to go to the actual chest to fight it? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because when I opened up a chest, it's like, there's a chance you could enter the fight. Are you sure you want to? And then I clicked yes. And then it was like, you have to go enable this first. So then I went and enabled it, went to the bank, got ready to fight it. And then, well, I got it. Spoiler alert, didn't get nothing. But when I opened it, it was like prompting me, are you sure you want to open this chest? There's a chance you could fight a Mimic boss right away.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone was telling me that they had to run to the chest and enable. They had to like bring it to the chest and then fight it through there.
So I did have to enable it. I'm sure you did too.
I did it before I even got my casket though. Like when the update came out, I logged on and someone told me and I ran there and enabled it first.
Okay.
Yeah. But 1 in 35 for the Mimic to fight you with an elite, and 1 in 15 for masters. He'll drop like death runes or blood runes. Like he drops a plank, but when you open up the chest, it'll say in like a separate text, the Mimic rewards you with like runes or whatever. Or some new items that we'll talk about
right now.
Yeah. So actually in a second, I lied. You have 6 attempts to kill it when you're fighting. If you're on Masters, you have 6 attempts to kill it. For Elites, you have 5 attempts, and your potential loot will be decreased. But if you defeat the Mimic on your first try, or on the first try, it'll like boost your chances of receiving a unique item. So if you can one-shot the Mimic, you're getting a better chance. And if you're dying a bunch and stuff, yeah, the boss seems pretty basic. You get like one of each attack style attacking you, like a third age, ranger, melee, and major, and then you just kill the Mimic.
Yeah, seems doesn't seem too hard.
But yeah, if you die, you do have to spend 90k gold.
Right, it's like Vorkath or a Theater of Blood or the Hydra.
Yep.
I'm not a huge fan of this trend of every boss you have to pay 90k gold to get your items back.
Gold sink.
It's a gold sink, but it's just like 90k is not that much. When I thought I had to fight it, I thought if I died, I'd lose all my items. Like it was just an instanced area, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of thought. It made it a much more riskier.
Well, the fact that you have 6 or 5 attempts is kind of stupid.
Yeah, I don't think you should have to pay the 90k because you get to a point where 90k is nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's just like a one-off, like, I don't know. The boss...
It makes me less worried about the fight. Like, okay, if I die, I pay 90k, big whoop.
And then you have 5 or 6 or 4 or 5 more attempts.
You have to do it every time, pay 90k?
Well, like...
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, if you die, you can teleport out and go back in. So, last week, I had like a lot of issues with the Mimic boss, and I was like, they shouldn't just put it in there. And, like, if they put the Mimic boss in there, it should be like a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It's just... And like, I feel like you're going there for the only unique, which is a third age ring, which I don't even think is a cool item. I think it's stupid.
I like it. I think it's cool. If you don't know it, you turn into a piece of equipment on the ground.
It's just like...
It's a fun little item.
It's a fun little item, but there's no, like... It's just like you're fighting, like the boss isn't hard. You have so many attempts. The fees for dying are, like, nothing. There's no fee.
I wish these fights, because I get the struggle where you make it like a DPS based fight, then suddenly it'll be hard for some people, whereas like a max level won't have a problem with it, right? I wish they kind of focused making it more mechanics based. Like it was still hard for a max level, not as hard as it would be for like a level 100, but at the same time, the 100 would still be able to beat the fight if he learned the mechanics.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem when you're making it so it's just like a tank and spank sort of fight. You hit like a line where it's like, okay, this fight's easy now because I can just do more damage with the items I have.
Well, it's like the same. They've done it before with like Skatizo, where like they're not fun. Like you just go in and do it and get out.
I think Skatizo was better done. Was more well done, mainly because like. You know, you have the totem things you have to destroy once they spawn.
But you can just kill it fast enough.
Yeah, you don't have to do that either. But there are times where I'm like, he's at like 20%. I'm like, I could easily just, I'm not hitting him. So I need to destroy these stupid totems, or I can just kind of sit here and wait.
Well, like you should be destroying totems when they spawn. I think it's like after 2 you should be.
Yeah.
But like that boss is boring as hell. this boss looks even more boring. And it's like, these are supposed to be like one-off cool things that you interact with. Like, hey, you do enough Slayer, kill enough things in the catacombs, you're rewarded with fighting this cool boss. And then now with the Mimic, it's like, yay, you've done like enough Masters or Elites and you got lucky and now you can fight this cool boss. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like you're doing it, you're going to try and one-shot it and then get maybe a third age ring if you're really lucky. But like, I don't know. It's just so like forgiving and easy and boring.
I think, well, I guess it's like technically a demi-boss. So it does fall in the same category as the other ones, which would be Skatizo and then the Hespori, which all three are fairly easy.
Yeah, Hespori, like,
there's a bit more to it.
There's
still, it's easy.
I mean, it's watered down, pun intended. Skatizo, I guess, but
different, harder.
Hespori?
Yeah, I would say so.
No,
it's harder in the sense that, like, with Skatizo, how many times I'm just like, screw it, I'm just not gonna get the totems and I'll be fine. And you take longer in the fight, but I'm like, I never have to be worried. But like Hespori, it's
you can literally kill Hespori without any food, though.
I always bring food because I've got hit hard sometimes. And also, like, he's got more mechanics to it. How he can freeze you and
you just click though.
No, you click, but it's something that the Skatizo doesn't have.
Okay, well, whatever. I don't know. I want these bosses to like be Hespora is different because it's linked directly to a skill, and it's like you want to implement him in your farming run. So if he's too hard, then like low levels can't do it, which is why he's like so fucking easy.
I think that's the same. We're dealing with the same thing here with the Mimic boss.
But if you look at what you need to complete Elites and Masters, like if you have to show off, like you have to like wear Bando's pieces to go do some shit.
Sometimes, yeah.
They should probably expect to fight something that is hard, but whatever. I honestly didn't really expect too much from the Mimic, and
maybe our vision's a bit different than what Jagex had intended, right?
Yeah, I had low expectations.
They wanted it more accessible to more players, whereas like sometimes we want something that's going to be a little bit of a challenge.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so some other changes they made. Some are like stackable caskets.
Yep.
A clue inventory icon, so now they look different.
Yeah, which is good. You can actually look at the icon and know which one you got. It's not just, you guessing.
Yep. You can hand in Master Scroll books to Watson for a random number of Watson teleport scrolls.
Cool.
And then in other news, we have the Easter event that just came out.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay, so it says here, the time for this year's pun-filled Easter event has arrived. However, before the Easter Bunny can go ahead and spread Easter eggs all across Gielinor, he needs some help. Find him north of Falador to lend a hand gathering the ingredients needed to make fuel for his egg-making machine. To do this, you'll tunnel through the Easter Bunny's burrow system to find his helpers. Egg, and Eggy. One egg has 2 G's and one has 1 G. Who will aid you in finding the ingredients you need. As always, completing this year's Easter event will unlock all of the previous Easter holiday event rewards, as well as some brand new ones. We hope you find them excellent. Classic. So yeah, 'tis the season. I'm going to do that tonight.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about that one.
The rewards are ridiculous as always.
What are they?
I see people walk around with giant eggs. Like it's kind of like as memey as last year's event.
No, you can't get that. I don't think it's that bad. That one was ridiculous. A big egg you carry? That's not too bad compared to like football outfit.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
It takes the cake.
It looks pretty bad. That being said, I haven't done it yet. I'll probably do it tonight as well. Oh,
I just realized the pun of the names is Ed, and Eddie.
Yeah.
Jeez, I am an idiot. Oh, you get a bunny outfit with a creepy ass looking bunny head.
So I don't know where I saw the egg. I saw some dude holding the egg. Yeah, you get the big. It's like Donnie Darko-esque.
Oh, you have to use a hammer on the big egg, and then you get the mask.
Oh.
Would have helped if we did this beforehand.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's out there. Fun as always. And I guess that's it for the news.
Yep.
Damn, we've rapid fired those ones. Good stuff. Except for the weapon category. That's what we got stuck up on.
Yeah, that was a hang up.
Anyways, I guess we get to go on to the segment where we get to teleport back in time and talk about some of the updates that happened 17 years ago. So this week we're going to teleport to April 9th, 2002. And the title is New Members Quest is Online. The Fitzharmon family crest has gone missing and the family honor has been lost. Can you find the crest and return it to Diminithes in Varrock? They started with bad, terrible names since the beginning. Jeez. There are 3 different rewards available, but you can only choose one, so choose carefully. Not anymore. This is another difficult quest to complete. Next, we will be working on some low-level quests to ensure there is a good balance of quests for all levels of players. So if you don't know, it is the family crest that came out. Crazy, back then you had to choose, eh? I wonder, I don't remember if you're able to drop your gauntlets and go get a new one. Probably not. I'd imagine it's like Pokemon. You choose out of the 3 and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, man, we got spoiled where we can use all 3 of them now. Anyways, let's fast forward a day from then. So now we're on April 10th of 2002. And this is just some news. So we've made a few fixes to RuneScape today. The demon in the family crest quest was too deep into the wilderness, which was causing a major PKing problem and wasn't too popular. So we've now moved it to the wilderness dungeon at a much lower wilderness level. Where is it now? It's not in the wilderness, is it?
I don't think so, no.
They've definitely moved it since then. I love the idea of them coming out with this new quest and people looking at it and being like, yo, this is going to be a sick place to PK.
Yeah. Hey, wilderness rejuvenation, starting, 17 years ago.
How do you feel about a quest that revolved with being in the wilderness? That's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Surprised they haven't really tried that. But anyways, they also say we fixed a bug with magic spells, which people were abusing to rapidly fire multiple bolts and kill people unfairly. Could you imagine queuing up 5 fire blasts? Just one-shotting someone? Anyways, now you can drink a potion even if your stats are already boosted. Your stats will not go any higher than the maximum the potion allows, but this means emptying vials you don't want is easier. You don't have to wait for the potion's effect to fully wear off before boosting your stats to max again. Wow, what a pain in the ass that would be.
Mm-hmm.
And now moving on to April 12th. Some more news. Jagex customer support is back online. Sorry for the recent downtime. And membership signups are also functioning again.
Well, support is still down, sadly.
Well, it went up and then it went down indefinitely.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually really got around to bringing it back. But
now it's like Twitter goes down and they come up with the support's crashed.
Yeah.
Anyways, he finishes off with, I am also pleased to announce that we have 3 full-time members of staff to answer your questions, and a 1st person is joining on Tuesday. This increased number of staff will enable us to give you more rapid support and will also mean we are better able to find and punish the players who are breaking our rules. Shit, they're getting tough. That's it for this week, though. Back then.
Yeah.
Some fun stuff. I like the idea that the quest makes you go into the wilderness. I think it would be a cool idea to have a quest fully in the wilderness. I mean, it would be hard as hell to do because of all the PKers the first week, but
yeah.
It's different. I'm surprised we don't
make you bring really expensive stuff.
Yeah, you have to pay 5 mil to the dude. Some dude's trapped into some jail cell at the bandit camp. You gotta pay off the ransom.
Gotta give him a tier 10 emblem.
It's something. But yeah, there's all the news for you guys for this week and this week some odd years ago. So I guess with that being said, we shall move on to the lore of the week. When Zarek and the men that followed him arrived to Mount Quitamortum and began constructing the temples within the cave, he knew he would need additional help. He began looking for one person for one specific job. A man who went by the Houndmaster eventually took Zarek's offer for no other reason other than the money offered. He arrived to Mount Quitamortum and was quite surprised that his job would now be contained within this temple. His job was to come and look after some of the hounds that Zarek had with him, to train them and to care for them. When he first arrived, there was over a dozen dogs that he would be looking after. but he soon learned what his job would entail. He wasn't there to train them or to take care of them. He was there to aid Zarek with experiments. Within the temple, Zarek began manipulating the crystals and the magic energy within them and using that to experiment on the dogs. After many failed experiments, Zarek finally had a successful experiment on the Houndmaster's most prized hound. She was the strongest and most well-trained, and it was the dog that Zarek's experiments would prove to be successful. In disagreement, the Houndmaster was appalled by the product that the experiments produced. It changed the dog into a creature, into a monster with scales instead of fur. With something that resembled a shell on the back of the creature, it now resembled what looked like a crocodile, a mix between a dog and a reptile. But the dog that they had experimented on had turned to be pregnant, which caused the offspring of this monster to resemble the same appearance. Zarek instructed the Houndmaster to remain within the temple, training and taking care of this new creature. It would soon be named a Muttadile, a combination of mutated crocodile. Zarek would then abandon his temple in the mountain itself, leaving the men that came with him within the temple to take care of it. Zarek told the Houndmaster he would later return, but for the time being, he would continue with his duties. The Houndmaster never knew if Zarek would actually return. Months went by without hearing a word. The Houndmaster kept a diary where he recorded everything that took place. But the last entry in his diary states, "The mountain just shook. Has Master returned to us? I must check on them, for he certainly will return if I fail him." After that entry, the Houndmaster disappeared. Nobody knows if part of the mountain collapsed, causing him to die within the caves, or maybe the creatures he had taken care of turned on him and consumed him. Alrighty, and now we're back. That means we get to hop over to that Grand Exchange, and we get to tell you about some of the stuff we have to offer. First things first, if you like audiobooks, or you like normal books, or maybe like podcasts and want to try something different, check out audibletrial.com/wild. You'll get a free month and a free audiobook. That's audibletrial.com/wild. You can also support the show directly by going to patreon.com/thewilderness podcast. And our supporter of the week is Yasiin Clemens. So thank you very much for supporting the show. We greatly appreciate it. My school is wrapping up, which means I'm going to start harassing some of the people I was talking to before about doing these bonus episodes. Hopefully they respond well to that. Many people do, right? Getting bombarded with emails and messages. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is my time is finally opening up. I'm not worrying about a full-time job until May. There's something I have working there, but but till then, I'm gonna be focusing on podcast stuff and other like RuneScape projects, I guess.
Yeah.
If you do join our Patreons, I have some bloopers that have gone on in the past. I mean, I found one on my computer from I don't know, when we first started it, because I don't even remember why I don't even know why it was saved on my computer. Well, I do know why it was saved, because it was such a weird, I feel like I sound like I was having a stroke in one of the bloopers. Yeah, anyways, you can check some of those out. I also threw up some silly little projects before because I had nothing else to throw up there. So I was like, yeah, I'll throw these up because I was doing this for school and it's podcast related, so why not? Yeah, anyways, when those bonus episodes come out, if you're on Patreon, you'll be the first to know about it. But don't worry if you're not on Patreon, that's okay as well. They will be coming out to you guys probably a couple days later, something like that. Anyways, before we move on to tell you about what we've got going on in the show right now, we got a few emails this week, so we'll take a look at some of those. Our first email is from Luke, and he says, "Hey, just to let you know, the BAFTA awards are pretty big in the UK. They stand for British Academy of Film and Television Arts," which is kind of cool. I when we first thought it was from some mobile gaming. Not mobile gaming, from some mobile company, some cell phone provider. But British Academy of Film and Television Arts, that seems like a much bigger deal than that. That's pretty cool to see Old School RuneScape was able to take home the win for that.
Yeah.
So that's big news. So yeah, thanks for letting us know. I really appreciate that. And then we got an email from Smile Dude, basically just saying, "Hey, love the show, listening all the way from Georgia, USA, and was wondering if I can get a shout out in the next podcast for hitting 99 fletching." I'm going to have to go with a no there, unfortunately. No. Congratulations on 99 fletching.
Nice, dude.
That's huge. Yeah, it's funny how 99 fletching was one of the easiest 99s back in the day. I remember if someone had a 99 and all they wanted was a level 99 something, fletching and cooking is what the two that people would go for, right?
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like not so much. It's the melee combats, right? Like strength and stuff is like one of the most popular 99s to get. Yeah, it's definitely changed a bit too. And I also think it was because, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day, you could make money off fletching if you're also alking.
You can still make money off fletching.
Yeah, it's just not as much. I think.
No, you still make the same amount.
No, I think you made more back in the day. And plus, like, if you want to train magic, I mean, not much has changed, but, you know, we do have Monkey Madness 2 areas now. So, like, it's just everyone opted to doing alking, whereas now a lot of people still do that, but I think for the most part, they try different methods.
I mean, I did my 99 fletching all through longbows, and then I alked most of them while I was questing and training agility. Like, I got, like, 90% of my quests done while alking.
Yeah, that is crazy.
You make it's slow fletching, but you make a lot of money from it. Like,
it depends on what you buy in, obviously. Because I know when I was getting my 99 fletching, there was definitely some parts where I wasn't making money. I was like breaking even.
You're doing darts?
No, I was doing longbows. So it's just the way the price of the logs were versus like selling the bows back. They would change, and sometimes it would hit where like longbows were going for just as much as magic logs and bowstring were.
Yeah, I never had that issue. That's weird.
I guess it just depends how many people are actually doing it, right? So yeah. So congratulations on 99 fletching again. It's a big W. And lastly, a very interesting email here from Carissa. And she says, I am representing Claudia. She's the author of a book called My Partner. It's about the relationship between the U.S., President Barack Obama, and German Chancellor Dr. Angela Merkel. We know she'd get a great addition to your podcast, and we'd like to book an interview with her.
Do it up.
It sounds good. I don't see anything RuneScape related here.
Patreon only content. Actually, though, message her and then we'll just like fuck with her. We'll talk about like King Roland and everything, like all the politics between like Song of the Elves and stuff.
And then at the end, it just turns up in like, you don't have a clue what I think you're on the wrong show.
Ask her about like what's going on with West Arty.
Yeah. Is it fair? Should we tear down the wall?
Is there really a plague?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. If you don't know, there's another podcast that came out some odd months ago with a very similar name to ours, and we often get tweets and emails about the other show that are completely different. One's I haven't listened to it, but it's like I guess it's like Trump talk. I imagine any political podcast is a lot about Trump and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Let's move it on though, because we got one more question from Discord from Antoine, and he said, I was listening to your older episodes, and you and Deegan kept referring to things as, quote, private servery. Could you guys give me a definition of what that means? And do we have anything in the game right now that feels private servery?
We can't give you a definition, and yet, no. Private servery, like if you've ever played on a private server, like a custom RuneScape server with different rates, and just like different.
So Antoine himself has never played a private server.
Okay.
So that's why when we used to call Neve's Cave was a perfect example of something that looked very private servery, or Hatus Casaintus, Casiantus.
Yeah.
Very private servery because, they went popular for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if there are still some that are popular today, but back in the 2007 era, there was a website called Moparscape, which you could go on. It would have a list of different, basically player-made servers of RuneScape, and it's basically just the normal game itself, but they would tweak things like your experience rates and obviously the items. Like sometimes you could just go like : max stats, and it would give you all 99s, and sometimes it would give you like all the best armor too. And then you might think like, what's the fun in that? Really, you just did that to go PKing, and you'd fight other people doing the same thing. Some private servers, you weren't able to just put your own levels. Like you would just get accelerated experience rates. Like there would be like 100 times as fast.
Yeah. And like weird things were like, you would like, perfect example, like a private server, you would like log on to some random like Dragonscape, right? Mm-hmm. And then you like load up and you're in Edgeville and you're encased in this like nightmare zone-esque area, you know, with like the lights and stuff. That's my always go-to for private server, but like weird objects, and then there'd be like one bank booth, and then you can like thieve from this stall, and it gives you like 100K, and you get like a lot of thieving experience. And then you can like buy like a weapon. You click one teleporter that can bring you. You know what I mean? Like they were just like player made servers that like some did it to like practice PKing, some did it for fun, some did it to be like I don't know, just to have their own spin.
It's like RuneScape if it was literally Easyscape, where like you would log in and similar to like how you said Nightmare Zone, you're in this box, but it have like 20 portals. Maybe one portal brings you to the Slayer Tower, but the Slayer Tower, instead of what we know what the Slayer Tower is, it's 2 times as big, and every single Slayer monster is in that tower. So you don't have to leave it. It's one portal, boom, you're at your Slayer spot. Maybe you click another spot and it brings you to a place that has like a separate room for every different boss.
Yeah.
You click another one, brings you to a PvP zone.
Easiest way to describe it, it's like really weird things where they reuse assets and it doesn't really fit. So like assets are just like objects in the game. So and like if there's something that's been kind of like say it's because it's just like weird armor and like a weird like character model or NPC that's kind of it's misplaced. It doesn't really match like a typical lore. It's like as if some dude was 16 has a decent idea of like programming and has like a RuneScape base like thing that he got from his buddy. And then kind of just like made his own like shitty, but different type of like a RuneScape experience. And then hosted off his laptop and had like 20 people join and play off of it. Where like the character models are like might get deformed. You might hit like a dragon and its model like stretches, like very buggy and weird. But like mainly it's when they reuse assets or just have like areas that don't fit the game at all. So like Neve's Cave, which still kind of feels private server-esque, but you go in and then there's like a bunch of monsters in this, like the cave looks super basic and weird and it doesn't really like fit the whole vibe of Tree Gnome Village or Nightmare Zone. It's like outside of Yanil. You get these weird blinking things with like these kegs and a chest and then like a cow that spawns there and then like a thing you dream at. It doesn't it doesn't fit the area at all. Generally, that's what private server means.
Yeah, and I would say like, in private servers, they would have a guy that looked like Hate Us Cause He Ain't Us because it looks silly. They would just do it to be like, it's different. It's our reimagination of RuneScape, but we had some fun with it by putting this NPC here who's decked out in Third Age and a top hat.
Yeah, there are private servers that are like still really popular, and I know there's one where I think it's closed, but I saw like them posting on Reddit like a year ago, and what they do for fun is when people post ideas they really like, they go and recreate what they could look like on their server. Mm-hmm. And then they would take screenshots and like post on the subreddit. That stuff might be banned off the subreddit now, but you're able to see really cool designs and they like made their own armors and stuff.
Yeah. Like
there are really cool things you can get out of a private server besides, losing your account. Because
that's the problem. Yeah.
Nowadays, it's all for stealing accounts.
Back in the day, it was something fun to do for like, you wanted to break from RuneScape, but you still wanted to play it. You're getting burnt out from your grinds. You'd spend the evening playing a bunch of different Mopar servers. They were usually pretty shitty with like disconnecting and stuff. You wouldn't invest too much time into them. And then when RuneScape, the Wilderness got destroyed, some private servers went hard and a lot of people were playing that a lot. And I know there's like a lot of fun servers. I wouldn't go on a private server now because the risk of getting your account stolen is so high.
Well, the only reason why they steal your account, one, they might make you download a client, which might have like rats.
Yep.
Might have a rat or something, or like a keylogger. But mainly what they hope for is that you just use whatever bit. My name is like BingBob229, and then my password is Hunter2, and then I would just use that login on the private server, and then that's another thing they could do.
There was a server for a while that had guns in it instead of, like, it might have had bows and stuff too, but it had guns. You get like an AK-47 and shit.
Yeah.
But
I know, like, RuneScape Classic, might be doing better than ever in terms of in the private server world. I have a buddy who like dabbles with all that stuff, and they had like for RuneScape Classic, all those lovers, there was like 3 big servers that were made, and they're RuneScape Classic, same rate, same everything, but they take an old school approach. I think one of them has an old school approach where you vote on everything, but another one they just put stuff in, and they've like added new tiers, new bosses, new quests. Like it's actually really neat, and like old school kind of like 2007 Scape kind of went through that before the old school servers got released. There was one really big one that had like 30,000 players or something like that.
Which is a huge thing with Jagex looks at and go, if that's really popular,
yeah,
maybe people want it. Same with World of Warcraft Classic.
Yeah.
Right?
It's kind of how these legacy servers come back, where they notice that like a huge part of their market, or in the black market, I guess, they're in like this weird third party game type deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much when we describe it's private servery. It's
something that doesn't fit, that seems lazy, that makes something too easy without being creative. You know, like Neve's Cave is the perfect example, where it had every Slayer monster in there, but didn't really fit. It didn't even look like a cave. It just looked like rooms with a small entrance to each one. It looks better now. The Catacombs, I would say, looks pretty private servery.
Yep.
It works a bit, but it's still, it's like, it's got like 20 different rooms, probably more, but like each room is just dedicated to one monster. It's a too easy one-stop shop. And yeah, Hades Casientas is another private server thing, I would say. And I don't know what else would be. Like cosmetics look like something I would see in a private server, but if they anyway, so yeah, that's when something looks private servery. Yeah, I think it just comes from laziness and not being creative about it, and maybe rushing content to just get it in the game. You know, you could maybe make the argument for Rev Caves being a little private servery. Just the fact that you kill them and they have so many different drops that kind of makes you wonder, do they belong on that drop table? Do they not? Anyways, thanks so much for all your emails. We had another email that was basically just like saying they enjoyed the show and whatnot, and we really do appreciate that. That email like that specifically, I don't know how well it would do on like just reading it on the podcast, because there's not much discussion to be had with it. But if you have questions and stuff, you send in any emails and stuff, and if there's a discussion that we have with that email, then we'll definitely have it on the podcast. But either way, appreciate all the emails and everything. They're a lot of fun. I love getting them. Anyways, now we're going to talk about what we have going on in the show. So we have a Jeopardy event, which I'm thinking I'm going to be having it on the first weekend of May, which is going to be the 3rd or the 4th. I don't think anything's going to be popping up then. The reason I say 2 different dates, because maybe if enough people are interested, we could have 2 different events, one on each day. Or maybe only 5 people want to do it, but they can't do the Friday as easily, and Saturday works out for most people. Maybe we'll do it then as well. So let me know on Discord or on Twitter, or on Facebook, or in game itself. But also, now's your chance to start sending in your username if you're interested, and I will make a Google Docs or something where I can throw up who's going to be in the first round. It's going to be between 3 and 5 people, and it's going to be your classic Jeopardy game, where I'm going to have there's a template online I can use that looks just like it would be from the Jeopardy game show, and it'll be all in game. I'll probably be streaming it, and I'm thinking as it is right now, I'm going to do some testing this week, but you're probably going to have to watch the stream in order, and then I'll just do everything through the stream there, but you'll be answering in game using your text. So I got to test some things out, because I know there's a bit of a delay. I got to see if that works. But yeah, if you're interested in winning some money for that or something, then send in your RuneScape usernames. Blech. I'm getting a bit of a lazy mouth right now, which means we got to wrap this bad boy up. So if you want to come hang out with us in game, it is WildCC. Our email is thewildernesspodcast@gmail.com. Our Facebook is facebook.com/thewildernesspodcast, and our Twitter is @thewildernessRS. If you want to join our Discord, best ways to go on Facebook or Twitter and click the link that's there. Deegan, you got some things as well?
Twitch, Twitter, DeeganRS.
And if you want to check me out on Twitch, it's The Dills, and that's DILZ. I've been playing around with some streaming the past week, just learning how things are. And we want to start this thing called like a RuneScape Radio, or Rune Radio, or Wild Radio, which can be a mix of like a podcast and a mix of like a typical radio show, where there's going to be music and stuff. It's going to be fully on stream as well. I mean, if people like it well enough, maybe we could pull the audio, but we'll have to see how that works. But the idea is we'll just chit chat about RuneScape stuff. You can come pop in on our Discord and I'll pull you into a chat room and we can talk for like 10, 15 minutes about anything. And yeah, I'm thinking of having some weekly stream like that or a couple times per week just for fun. More info once I've got that all fully fledged out. And this week will be another trial period, but next week, 2 weeks from now, I will have a schedule down. And yeah, so you know what time you can actually check that stuff out. And okay, so our song of the week is going to be Assault and Battery. Assault and Battery is a music track that is unlocked in Barbarian Assault. And it came out January 4th, 2007. And as usual, it was composed by Ian Taylor. So yeah, thanks guys for listening to the show. And next week with 130.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Love when we hit those round numbers.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening and take care. Have a great week.
Yeah, have a good one.
Catch you next week. Bye-bye.